Everyone is entitled to their own sorrow, for the heart has no metrics or form of measure, and all of it, irreplaceable. That's the quote we start off with for Weiss's trailer, and it ends up being pretty slow. You see her, and this being the second fucking trailer in this series. You're not expecting some singing, some S-tier level loot, and what is this, like a 13, 14-year-old Casey, probably even 12? Absolute elite level singing out here. It looks so beautiful, and I just want to mention this again, and I mention it in every one of these video fight analysis, whatever you want to call it, but it is so cool seeing the contrast of her white with the black because she represents white. I'm sorry I have to keep bringing it up, but RWBY is a series that represents the color naming rules, so this contrast matters a lot. Anyways, we slip into a new world and we see the night coming upward. You see him face off against Weiss and it's immediate hand, so let's just get ready to break this down. He takes one of these giant ass slashes and Weiss immediately knows what to do, immediately backflips, and honestly the elegance is so fucking amazing here, and that's what you'll continue to see her fight with, elegance and grace. It's all part of her kit. Each RWBY character has a significant and unique style, which is also what makes this so amazing. And I don't want to be that guy that compares old RWBY to new RWBY, but I kind of got to for like Weiss and Blake because they fight so differently, and Weiss is always a treat to see because Weiss is so cool and pulled out so many iconic moves in this trailer that she just hasn't pulled off again. Anyways, regardless, you see her recover from the backflip, and this is our first look at her weapon. You immediately see the rapier, and it's just pretty simple, nothing standard. You notice like the revolver, but besides that, it's nothing crazy. She dashes and the dash is immediately blocked, but the recovery into the dodge is insane. Speaking of, this speed she showed is insane. Immediately dodging, going up behind before you could even notice, and landing a barrage of attacks is something we haven't seen before. But these attacks weak as hell. He said, "Get off me!" And as she braced for impact, she successfully blocked that. But her recovery was still there. She looked up to see him jump up, one arm behind the back, looking like he about to yam some shit. And Weiss knew she had to dodge or she was about to be looking down with her grandfather. Immediately hit the roll, and it was absolutely amazing. But she also did another backflip, dodging the attack while close to the camera. See, but third time's the charm, and they smacked the fuck out of her. Sent her directly down on her back, but with a clean recovery, also just gets up. We get a close-up, and I just want y'all to peep her face right now. Calm, collected, no really anger or aggression. Is cool. But guess what? She also flicks her rapier in that chamber, spins, and we about to see what it land on. You see her also activate her semblance with some level of grace, and before you know it, she blitzes right back in. This time she comes with one leg up into a spin, dodges immediately into a flip to spin once more. The speed is impeccable with these ballerina moves. She comes back, spins around, hits multiple air attacks, and then finally jumps off a glyph to hit once more while coming down. But regardless, she is still not done, because even as she hits the ground, she lands a couple more attacks, followed into a new camera angle for a 5-piece that launches her up into the air. And in the air, she uses a glyph once more to finally jump back to continue what she's been doing. What an excellent 2 more hits that stuns this, and all it has been is combo work. This has been elite level footwork right now. It's been speed, technicality, and timing. That's all she's been hitting bro with. But even as she goes on the other side of him and his other arm is stuck, he still swings the sword. She notices and short hops it, but eventually his arm gets free and he punches her across her shit. And you could tell the punch was heavy because she struggled to recover, at least here. Not worse than Blake. Blake got hit and she was gone for a minute. Weiss got hit, it hurt, but she good. You see her with this sad look on her eyes. It cuts back to her on the stage, and this is honestly such a beautiful scene, and she's singing. It looks so dark, it looks so sad, and obviously it's the anime, she's gonna get back up, but honestly I just love how they do it. I love the colors, and you see this red streak, meaning she's bleeding. She didn't activate her aura for this, no nothing. This is just a cut across her face, which also shows her iconic scar. If nobody know how she got her scar, which I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched RWBY and like the 5-6 other times I watched RWBY, I didn't watch the white trailer or the black trailer because RWBY and Yang were my favorite characters, so I only exclusively watched the red and yellow trailer, and I was like, Weiss and Blake, fuck them. So I always thought the scar on her face was like a shading, like rendering issue, and I was just like, why the fuck is that there? This is weird. And then I watched this trailer like after my like 7th rewatch, and I was like, oh, this was very important to the story. I understand it now. So yeah, don't be like me. Watch this. But after Weiss is knocked down, you see her check her rapier, spin the chain, and now the tip is glowing red like you mess with Magic Johnson. The knight comes rushing back in with some remarkable speed, and honestly, Weiss looks at that with that light work, no reaction. And she ups the steel and boom, big barrier. Now I don't know if this was fire dust acting as a barrier or she just had a barrier in the tuck, but she goes into a spin move regardless, pierces the ground and boom, ice. While frozen, he tries to get his get back and she uses that speed, jumps on top of the blade simultaneously as her rapier turns green and comes across to slash his shit. Maintains positioning as his sword is knocked down and gets this cold ass close up of her. He ups the rapier and it spins again and now he's rushing in barehanded. You see him do this 180 frame startup as she just dodges out the way, moving like a terrible, and I mean terrible, Elden Ring boss. Weiss knew he was an easy lick after this, up the 2 fingers and sent Brody directly into the air. I don't think I've seen her use this yet. Goes into a spin move of another ice projectile, still haven't seen her use this, and all of these ice projectiles lead to another glyph that keep them up like Vegeta piecing up Goku. We see her crouch down, it spins once more, and we get this cold ass scene that I'ma just let play out real quick. It transitions to her back on the stage. You see the particle effects. You see her in front of everybody. You see the moon. You see her on stage. You see the reflection under her. You see her do a little bow. And that is what you call grace, elegance, beauty, in somebody that I think is perfect, that represents Weiss. As stated with these videos, I don't really like to do compare and contrasting because that's not the job of these videos. If y'all wanted that, I have literal videos that do that, but these type of videos are just more for jokes and analyzing the fights. But it is so good to see Weiss at least fight like this. I don't want to be all doom and gloom with these videos and be super negative, so I'm not gonna be like, Weiss sucks now, oh my god, all she is a summoner, because I do technically feel that way. I just will never phrase it like that because a lot of comments already phrase it like that and it's very rude. And I think you can say Weiss is a summoner and doesn't fight as fluid or graceful and has these many combinations or shows this level of strategy without being super rude. So, you know, I try not to come off that harsh with these videos, and, you know, even with my actual like analysis videos, I don't try to be that harsh. But yeah, this video isn't about that, so I kind of just want to show some grace and happiness and be like, I'm glad to see her fight like this. And if you haven't watched RWBY, then, you know, I'm glad you got to see her fight like this, and you should continue to watch the show. I really enjoy it. Or if you haven't watched the show at all, watch the show. I think it's quite enjoyable. And if you have watched RWBY before and you're watching my video, I'm glad we got to break this down together. With that being said, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace, peace.
I can't tell you how to see me, just a case of once. There's nothing in